Makes sense. So I do encourage you guys to check out part 1, 2, and 3 in
Charles?
the description or in the top pinned comment. I normally link everything there. But I've been rambling enough in this intro, so I hope you guys have a good Christmas and a good New Year's. And let's just look forward to the content to come, even though the demo and this series, I'm guessing, will. Starting with number 1, from Mark Johnson, how do I see Bruce and Alfred's relationship playing out? Will Alfred approve of the Batman Crusade, think Bruce is crazy, etc.? So, I see a very specific Alfred with Andy Serkis's casting. I feel like with what we've seen from Matt Reeves, the vision is very, very clear, and I just feel really tapped into that funnel, so to speak. I could be wrong with some of my things that I'm talking about. So I feel like Alfred is going to approve of it. I don't think he's going to think Bruce is crazy. I think, if anything, he might endorse it, especially after what happened to the Waynes. It's going to be interesting to see if there was initial doubt there, if they're going to explore that.
Is he outside?
Again, picking up on
Can you go check for me? If he is, can you bring him inside, please?
Say it's around 1 year, somewhere around there. So I don't know if we're going to see like that initial conversation when Bruce comes back home. It's like, hey Alfred, I'm going to do this. So I'm not saying that we're going to get the Wayne there, but we could get lines to it, references to it, or a line from Pattinson's Bruce to Alfred saying, oh, come on Alfred, we both know you didn't like what I was doing at the beginning, whereas now he kind of is on board with it. Something like that. But either way, bottom line, he would be very on board with it. I think he himself, with his military history, would be very valuable to Bruce's journey as Batman. Maybe he even helped teach him some of his fighting moves, but I'm not saying he's fully responsible for it, because I really do feel like Bruce does have to do his research about the Rambo thing, and he can't learn it all from an ex-military guy like Alfred, even though he kind of get a lot from Alfred, of course. But also, I think we'll see him in the Batcave in a similar way to Jeremy Irons' Batman. We will see him tinkering with stuff with Ben Affleck's Batman. We're going to see him help build the Batmobile. Well, let me rephrase that. The Batmobile is already been built, but I assume Alfred helped Bruce tinker. I'm not sure Bruce is capable of doing it, so you get the vibe I'm going for. So we go for Bruce. If you want to see Game Point in this trilogy, what are the chances we see Selina and Talia fight? Thanks for that. Just a question from again, people saying, this question just for the masses of people out there who feel like you might get this, that, and the other.
Charles!
But this is an example where I feel like, when you're saying, do I ever want to see Game on Wayne in this trilogy? I don't think I do want to see that. Secondly, I don't think I see Selina and Talia fight. Like, I guess I can't prove to you guys that Talia al Ghul won't be in this series, this trilogy, but no, like, I really don't think that's I could be wrong, but I really feel like that's a far-fetched kind of, plot. That's even if, technically, in your head canon, Matt would ever projected in his own mind things. But if you ever see some questions, like, oh, isn't that obvious, why are you even highlighting this? I still choose to ask these questions just because I feel like there's going to be some people out there who really don't but still So Adrian Yeoman says, I hope the trilogy always jumps after a couple of years so we can see better Batman and see how much he's grown in the time jump, and then we could get Robin, either Timothy Chalamet or next. So I found this very interesting. I really wanted to highlight this question because, as I said, I hold my hands up if I'm wrong about it. jumps, but I don't think they're going to be a couple of years or anything like that. It's just because I think what Matrix is going for here is the journey, the psychological development of Bruce Wayne, and I know that's going to be fulfilled to an extent by the Batman. I think what this trilogy is going to achieve is the development of Thriller and Bruce Wayne. So we're getting like 2 years is a long time, especially in a hero's career. Like a lot of things can happen in 2 years. I know you could say Christopher Nolan did time jumps in the Dark Knight stuff, but like I feel like with this approach, it truly is about the development of Bruce Wayne's psyche, and that's going to be more probably a part of the first film, for all I know, than the other two, with Batman Ego being one. However, to just dissolve 2 years of the Batman, the first movie, and then the second installment in this trilogy, like to just skip over 2 years, that would compromise the vision that I think they're striving for with this. Just imagine 2 years ago, it's like, oh well, Bruce, I know what you're going for. Like, we would be able to jump to a point where I think fans would want to see this, that, and the other with that far into Bruce Wayne / Batman's career. However, I really don't think they would do that for the sole reason of that it would just compromise with everything they're going for, and that's just tell quite a confusing story of Bruce Wayne's growth. I think the max time jump would get. I would at least I would like. You know how like the CW network show like the Flash between seasons might have a 5 to 6 plus month gap, give or take. I think almost that is too long, but it could be 4 to 6 months. At least that's what I'm going to go with. Nothing more than a year. If it was maybe a year, maybe, but 2 years is a big number, at least from what I can tap between the telepathic hacking I'm doing into Matt Reeves' head. At least that's what I'm believing myself to think. The original release date was 2021, and it's possible that behind the scenes, if we get the Batman in 2022 and the second film just 1 year later, the third film potentially in 2024, or is that not a good release strategy? So as you talked about release dates in my last video and how I said I was actually to a Joker question and how people
Seven's better than
teeth, and I'm saying, yeah, I get what you're saying. But don't forget the third film, I said the third film, that'll be around 2025 or latest 2026, so I think people will want them again by then. So just to kind of like link that into this, no, I don't think the second film will be in 2023. Since this movie has been pushed back to 2022, there's no way they will go, oh, but the second film is pushed back, everything else that came front of it, like the second and third film, will be pushed back according to the delay that many times been delayed for, and make those adjustments to those movies as well. So the Batman 2022, I still expect the second film a couple of years until we see, give or take, the second movie. So that's why I say 2024, and then the third movie will take 2026. I know that's a very rough thing. I'm not saying that as a fact, that's an opinion, but if you look at it logistically, that is building a trilogy with the average amount of production time these days, compared to the 1,000 movies, do go quite fast. And I know they're taking greater care with the Batman, but it's not like and then started making the film. These days, there's not much pre-production, and then they make the film, and then it comes out. So yeah, I still expect it years. 2024 for the second film, so if things go according to plan, and then for the third movie, I would expect it to be in the latter of 2026, something around there. Daryl Andrews says, do you think he stopped Joker in the first year, Batman, since the Joker gang? So I thought you were referencing kind of Batman theory, and yet again, I've actually spoken about this in the previous Batman videos, if you will. It's a possibility. I think you have the risk of annoying some fans if Batman doesn't incorporate what you're saying into the movie at the time of when the movie was revealed. So like, it's depicted on screen, and as a the Joker is saying something like, we've met before, you don't remember me, do you? But you should, and then like it does like a very 15 second flashback of where he got pushed in the Ace Chemicals back. That was he accidentally fell in a very cliche Jack Napier kind of way. You guys get the thing I'm going for, and Batman thought, oh, that sucks for that guy, but like I didn't technically do that to him. He shot this guy, and here we are at 1 year, 6 months in. Or should I say 3 to 4 years in. But either way, my point is, there's a theory going around online that maybe the Gotham PD show was going to somehow do their own iteration of the Red Hood gang, but don't forget that Gotham PD is from the perspective of quote-unquote kind of battling for the soul. He's obviously going to grow up, but like not really be okay with that, and maybe have like a path to redemption. And they could, with this drop gang thing going on, the whole drops that Gotham citizens are taking. The theory online that I believe you're referencing is that maybe that was just his brother Joker, and maybe in Batman's first year, which, by the way, Gotham PD is set in. So literally, when we get in the Gotham PD HBO Max show, Robert Pattinson's Batman's out there, that we could hear through a news report, but not actually see him, that the Batman caused a ruckus at Ace Chemicals, blah 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 blah, somebody fell in, and then like he doesn't surface until many months later, like in the comics, but we don't actually see him maybe until the third movie. I know that this is way too big for me to just be answering this in a single question, but he stopped Joker in his first year. It's possible, but going back to what I said, that could annoy people if like we didn't actually see the creation, and it's just done through Gotham PD. It's an interesting approach. But I think if they're going to do what you're asking, if he's already stopped him before, he just like surfaced months and months later, I think fans will have that penny drop moment depicted on screen for Batman when he realizes, oh, you're the guy who stopped like a couple of years ago. Well, but you fell in somewhere and people died. Let me know what you think of that. Would you like to see that, like, he stopped him before, but he didn't know it kind of thing? That is actually in line with the comics, and it would have set up a Joker already out there in the world in this movie, and in the second movie, and in the third movie. It depends when Matt Reeves wants to actually introduce it. That is going to be out there. Or, like some believe, maybe already in Arkham, and maybe he's already been arrested because of the whole droplet drug thing that he's been busted. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But this is what we're about. Fun speculation. Please first of all, both jobs are two more questions. If Matt Reeves really wants to put Bane in the Batman trilogy, do you think, in your opinion, that he can pull with Bane using Venom to at least get some strength from being grounded in reality? And how do you want Bane to look like in the Batman trilogy? So I do believe that Matt Reeves is going to not strictly do what Nolan did in terms of like, oh, Bane, we brought Bane into the movie, but he's not comic book Bane. I think what Matt Reeves is doing is mimicking a grounded world, but like bringing the characters. So yes, if Bane was brought in this film or in this trilogy, but he will have Venom that will make him stronger, and he will approach it in a grounded way. However, as I've reiterated before, when you're talking about Clayface, I feel like villains like that may be avoided because the amount of like believability that takes things like that may compromise the grounded stuff. So he may try and bring you characters like Bane. I'm not saying Bane is coming or anything, but more believable ones like Poison Ivy, where it doesn't require so much. I don't know, almost a centric translation from comic book page to movie that doesn't, as a result, compromise the grounded feeling. So I feel like the grounded feeling with Bane, even with Venom, and with characters like Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, that. However, Clayface keeps getting brought up. I just feel like he's a good example of like, yeah, technically he should be in the world, but if you highlight him, it may break kind of the stage that Matt Reeves has set up. I guess a lot of you guys know what I mean. And how would I want Bane to look like? Well, I think it's like a mixture. I don't think he should be necessarily golfing big like the comics. They could even do a Tom Hardy-esque approach. However, I would want accurate casting there. It's just maybe the Venom, maybe blow him as much up like the comics or the video game.
What did he have?
Believe it or not, yes, some of the reference to Gotham TV.
Okay.
They actually did a really good job of what you can do with live action. That didn't look too terrible, but then imagine how the movie covers. So I believe that was called, I think it was called Viper. Go search up Gotham Viper. Maybe I'm showing the clip on screen. I do not know. It made it even stronger, but it didn't necessarily like boost him up until proper Bane level. So yes, another example here. Yes, you can do Venom. Just kind of similar to what the TV show did with this prototype Viper, and not necessarily break the ground in reality.
I have no more.
Conservative asks, do I think that the essence of Batman or the feel of it being a comic book movie will get lost in the Crime Lord story reoccurring again? How do you think I feel like the way you're asking that question is as if like the Crime Lord story isn't a Batman established thing, whereas it is, and I apologize if I'm misinterpreting your question, but like it is also the thing though. I feel like you're just saying like, you know, how we see also you're bringing stuff that we know into what he's already
Babe.
so I argue that what he's giving us is actually and that is very much so being visited, but it's not actually been visited on screen or represented in quite a long time. Like we've had Batman movies, but it's never been a master detective Batman that actually has been very much so a consistent thing in the comics. So it's interesting to hear your take on this, just because I feel like a lot of people may think, hey, this is kind of the Batman I'm used to. Whereas in fact, that's just because they brought elements of Master Detective crime noir Batman in movies before, but never to the degree of where Matt Reeves is capitalizing upon it, where he's actually cementing his trilogy in the fact that this guy is a genius detective on planet Earth, and he's trying to figure this stuff out with a very intellectual villain like the Riddler. It's actually perfect. Like, I find it out every time I think of that concept in my head. So I think he will bring in balance against what has been popularized more so in recent years with maybe other villains in the other two movies. And also don't forget, we've got Penguin, we've got Iceberg Lounge by all looks of it, and things in this movie. So we'll have a lot of things to be familiar with. But I'm very happy that we've got this capitalized upon crime noir detective story Batman, because that is what Batman is. But we also do have things that we know, like where we see him beating the crap out of a criminal at the end of the trailer and the Batmobile and stuff like that. It's just going to be, I think, to answer your question, how he tackles the next two films. Who are the next main villains going to be? Will that still follow suit with this movie and how Riddler's such a villain with these clues and stuff we need to crack in a very Crime Lord trilogy kind of way, right? And reference to Crime Lord things specifically, yeah, we have Falcone and stuff that we weave into the story. But don't forget, the Riddler is kind of the overarching thing. But I digress. The reason why I bring up number 2 and number 3 is like if you have, let's just say, some other villain like Mr. Freeze, is it going to follow the Master Detective story there, which I argue technically wouldn't work as it would in the first movie, because in this movie there's clues. He literally has to stop a bomb from blowing someone up, and imagine all the other things. Whereas if you don't have Mr. Ivy or Mr. Freeze, yeah, there's going to be some figuring out things with Batman, but not in the same way he did in the Batman 2022 with the Riddler. So it's very fascinating to actually think of that. I've never thought of that. He's very distinctive. It's very crime noir detective Batman. But what if we get Poison Ivy in the second? There will be some figuring out to do, of course, but like, not so much in vain with the Batman he's giving himself. So that's very interesting. I haven't considered that. Bottom line, I think there still will be a balance. You know, you're still going to see a Batman who's very intimidating. We're going to see action, a lot of action. It's just going to get a lot of capitalization on the Master Detective Batman, because that can be more perfect for a mysterious villain. Serial villain, like the Riddler. Very requires a Master Detective. Carnage says, when Robin is eventually introduced, if, I mean, it already is in it, but I think but this could be the first time in a long, long time. This has been quite a while since we've had a Robin. He'll touch it in 4 years' time. We will see it. But when Robin is introduced, do you think they'll portray him as a young Robin of 6? What placing for that, something like that? I think the latter. I think it will be a blend of the two. I think you will have this. Let's just say it fits in line with the vision, at least I have. Whether you introduce Dick Grayson or not in his first film or the second film, let's just assume there's no Robin outright until movie 3. I think we're going to have, by that point, Bruce Wayne hardened by the events of the Riddler in his first movie. He'd already got a bit more of a tap on his impulses and his shadow self and his anger and stuff, which we're going to see a lot of in his first movie, but I argue the whole trilogy. And then you would have this like eager, kind of younger, spirited individual of a world accuracy, who will be, I think, not an angsty kind of person, but like, I don't think he's going to be like the flipping Robin, this, that, and the other, happy-go-lucky kind of kid. That's what I think comic book TV translation to screen, where it makes a difference. Because no matter what, you're not going to have a Titans Go Robin on the flipping screen. I know we're not saying that, but no matter what, the best thing to do, in my opinion, would be to ground it a bit more. Would be to make him, naive, but there's a lot for him to learn. I think you're going to have him maybe be overconfident. Like Bruce is going to look at him in such frustration in a moment where he could have got himself killed. Or something like that. I think it would be great to explore actually the struggling relationship between Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, which, why he eventually leaves to be Nightwing. That would be fantastic. But yet again, don't forget, this is all in the infancy of Batman's career, which is why I'm so, on a Robin. But maybe by the final movie, because by then, Batman would be by year 3 or 4 in his career, and in the comics, he has taken on a Robin then. So that's okay. It's just, will they do that? Will they do that? I don't know. It's because this trilogy, I truly do feel, is about Batman. There's so much going on with him that we actually haven't seen explored in other movies, psyche-wise, that Bruce is truly locked sights on. Like, other movies is dabbled in that, but he's got a tunnel vision for it. So, it depends if in 4 years' time, by the time they're starting production for the third movie, if the story events would have evolved to a point of where Bruce can find time for someone else other than working on himself. That's the thing that I think I struggle with, and we can only know more. So yeah, ultimately, I know I went on a tangent there, but I think if they did do it in this trilogy, it would be a blend of the two for sure, and this kid would have quite a bit to learn. But it wouldn't be too annoying at the same time. So Seven asks, how do you think other suits will be handled in this universe? Assuming they exist from past quotes and set photos, do you think we will ever get mention, cameo, or maybe even an appearance by some other League members in the future? So as for the latter, no way. No. Like, we're not going to see Wonder Woman, Superman have an appearance, or Aquaman, or The Flash, whatever. There are set photos of Wonder Woman, Halloween, citizens of Gotham, dressing up for Halloween, Superman, so I believe that out there. I absolutely detest the idea, and fair enough, more power to you if you believe this, but personally I detest that in this universe, there's a theory out there that there's Batman in this universe, but characters like Superman and Wonder Woman, of which we've seen in set photos, because obviously in the Batman in this movie, it goes through Halloween, and that's why there's lots of people dressed up in Halloween clothing, and it was amazing, got a lot of people excited when they saw citizens of Gotham dressing up as Superman and Wonder Woman and stuff. And the idea behind this theory is that in this universe, there's comic books of those characters, but they don't exist. Like, Wonder Woman's just a comic book character, Superman's just a comic book character, but in this universe there's I really don't like that idea. Don't get me wrong, I can see even if that was the case, but I would be so disappointed if the role of them front, even though this is just a Batman story, so there's not going to be any other superheroes flying in his little bubble. So I'm not saying this was an amazing Batman story, even if Superman is just a character in this world. But my God, if they actually do that, I would hate it. I really would. So I believe, personally, I have to believe that those people, those citizens of Gotham who are dressing up for Halloween as Superman and Wonder Woman, who are dressing up as Superman, but you're not going to see him. He's just been out there for 6 years, 8 years, maybe even 15 years. Who knows? But Batman's just doing his thing. He's 1 year, 6 months in. He doesn't care about Superman versus Superman. He'll meet him on later. He'll see that. I can't imagine this. This is very much still, even with those heroes out there in the world, you can still show a story without ever having to really address themselves. Other than, I think, it really does seem that they're not just characters, by the way. The reason why I don't like that theory is because they think it's ridiculous and still begin to way I've said it, to having to see them. But there's been a reference in the newspaper in photos of previous photos, and the article talks about, I can't remember the exact story, but what it's about saying, like, there was some flying thing by you know who. So, like, I believe that Superman's not there. I believe that's why Gotham citizens, with some of them, are dressing up as Superman, and that's why but as for
Oh, stupid. I didn't mean to do that.
truly just like Bruce knows there's metahumans in suits, if you will, in a very boys' way out there. But the stuff will technically, in terms of traditional canon, meet them one day, but not in this sense. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna like go off and meet teachers right away. I kind of like the world where Batman's only 1 year like he's grown up in a world where there are superheroes out there, but like
Charles! Quit your shit right now! Damn. Stupid.
I don't want to see Bruce kill. I would be absolutely fine if you've seen Prisoners with Hugh Jackman, where he beats up Paul Dano, who's obviously playing the Riddler, and he gets so close to killing him in that movie. I wouldn't mind if there's that was a very good lesson of what he did. Looking at such anger and rage for himself in a reflection, being like, oh my god, what am I doing? That'd be great if he almost kills him or someone. But do I want to see him? In my opinion, that kill. Fair enough, there are exceptions to that through like collateral damage. For the most part, I don't want to see it deliberately portrayed. Like, sure, you can argue that Christopher Nolan's Batman, Christian Bale doesn't kill, but there are instances where, like, technically that cop car through rolling probably killed him, but like, in my eyes, it still wasn't like deliberately sought out to tell the audience that Christian Bale's Batman killed. But like in this movie, I don't want any instance of that. Davis P says, I think Giancarlo Esposito would be essentially of the Copper Battles or Lucius Fox. What do you think? I don't think that, but I think it'd be a is a very good villain. And yes, you're wholeheartedly right. He could play a sophisticated character to the point of where he is the one the Court of Owls will look up to as the grand overseer, if you will. As for Lucius Fox, I can see that as well. But no, I can really imagine him as Mr. Freeze. I can really see him conveying so much emotion for his wife, across the city, yet also this villainous side that and I think he would be a fantastic casting. And yeah, that would be my pick. Over Lucius Fox or even someone as cool as the Court of Owls. So Thomas James Henderson says, this is an interesting question. Kevin would be okay with this. Do you think that Bruce Wayne just had a sabbatical to learn the ways of Batman, or was he trained by Alfred? Maybe Alfred in this movie would be competent in combat, and detective. So I think no matter what, whether it's to a very big extent, which is depicted in most comics, I would always want that. Like, there's a very specific way and formula to what makes Batman. Yes, one of them is money, but one of them is this guy is freaking masterful. Like, with combat, like, there's very specific reasons. You guys know why if you know why. He normally takes a big trip and gets hurt by some people. But having him just trained by Alfred, there is an attractive quality to that. And you're saying maybe Alfred will be competent as well. He's ex-military, and he's had, like, well, depending on the versions, he's been in different kind of groups of military and government and things. Like, that's really interesting. Alfred did this quite well. Pennyworth is doing it right now on TV. So yes, 100%, Alfred is a trained man. He is like very trained, but to Batman, the Batman to be trained by just one guy, I wouldn't be on board with it. I think that would rub up too many fans the wrong way, and with the amount of homework that Matt Reeves has done, to despite the attraction to the quality of just this younger Alfred, Andy Serkis, and you've all seen him in Black Panther, he's a lot more hands-on. I can imagine him being like that way in this movie. I still don't think just because you have a really hands-on, competent Alfred in combat that he is just solely responsible for Bruce's training. I think to an extent, like you could tell him a lot of things, but there's a certain extent how he decides what he does. So I think it's very big and I would say it's fundamental for Bruce and in any movie or any iteration, as you can set photos, which I already spoke about. I've been waiting for like stuff to like blow up a little bit more, but I guess we can talk about it right now. Because set photos of the film show an ice rink being developed, and the news from the setting of the film called the Giants. And I believe on it says in this kind of area iceberg. But yeah, basically, what we're seeing, I think towards people now in the Iceberg Lounge, I think he's done and told us already just what he's done. I guess he said the words, but for what one looks like. I don't think he has an Iceberg Lounge. This is what I mean. You guys have asked me about grounded reality. Asking about meta-powered people or like villains like Bane, and if they can achieve both suits, right? I also think they would do comic book things like grounded reality, but Penguin has a freaking Iceberg Lounge. I think Corner to the most truest way he can accomplish it. I think someone like Clayface will. It would be a bit too much for the audience to traditionalist way, which is great there. I know I feel like that would be breaking it a bit too far. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it's very likely to get the Iceberg Lounge. What we'll see. So Morgie 39 this trilogy. I should have asked this answer this morning. Basically what I said earlier. You already know what I mean. I would say the whole trilogy is going to be a character study on Batman. And this is true. And this trilogy is going to be like an extended essay, if you will. Yes, this movie, this first movie is called The Batman as it currently stands, or Vengeance, whatever you want to say there. But I think each, this movie's called The Batman, the second title of the next chapter of the growth. So this will be about Vengeance and even though Batman doesn't have quite do that, but you get my point. But each chapter is like the beginning, middle, and end of the growth of Bruce Wayne into the legendary Overlord Protector of Gotham City, which I don't think will really be nothing in this here, so I feel like we're treading into territory now of older videos, so maybe it depends on set information, or I might just put a post haven't been asked, but now we've got quite a lot of I think things are going to go unique. I don't mind. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's do whatever you want. This is a place for that's the sole purpose. Yes, even though we've got like a half minutes sizzle reel, if you will, 30% of the movie. This is what it's all about, keeping the entertainment and the hype alive. So I really enjoy talking about it. I'm saying at the end, it just might be a bit of an interview. You did like this video. I've got videos I'm working on. I've got 2 videos that I want to tackle. It's more of like a question topic. What they could do. A lot of things I'm talking about already. So I'm looking forward to working on that. So if you want to talk about Batman more with me, I have a Discord server where I'm active in, like voice chat, text chat. Join that. Top links in the pinned comment. No, top pinned comment. Links there, as always. Make Facebook if you have to you name it, it's from the channel. But yeah, hope you have a great start to the year, and I hope this video was a welcome one for the new year, for the first video of the summer. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you back, family, in the next video. Goodbye.
You go ahead and prove that your hair
Getting organized.
Our last hope, do I make a video? If you ask me if I regretted the second one, yes! Oh no! Why did I expect the mix? How's it going, everybody? That's and we're here back with some more Dragon Ball Fighters. Android 17, 18, and 6. As far as the system, I do believe I went ABB for this team, so I think unless I mess that up. I kind of see where we went green for the CSS, but you know what? We're just going to test it right out of the gate. We're calling 16. It should be. Did get to -6. Now I had that much hit stun or rage. The need to keep that going is so slick every time, even though it's pretty basic. The thing is, this Gogeta player is playing really smart, which means he's a smart player. And I'm dumb. So how is he going to handle my low intellect? Which, to be fair, very much okay. You just died. This Gogeta is playing right now. His best character. As after all, his name is Best Fusion. You know what? Maybe a level 1 would have killed. I actually don't know. Well, I'd rather just win this game. It doesn't look too good, but we're going to turn it around. Let's see how good the Bardock is, and then we'll worry about Gogeta. Actually, he'll probably tag out to Gogeta. Watch this read. No read? No read? Okay. If Gogeta doesn't want to play, then I'm here for that too. Don't continue. Get off me. Drag rush. Oh, the tag was a great option as well. I tried to read or reflect there. Vegeta's going to start. Keeping it nice and